So I'm in a very interesting situation in that for most of my life, I have been with women romantically, sexually, and I'm 42, and I decided that I wanted to experiment us being with a man. And so, along with that came a very interesting experience with intercourse that I had not yet experienced in my life. And I found that attempting intercourse for the first time at 42 years old was a restrictive and painful experience. So we can call that
Okay.
pelvic pain, we can call it painful intercourse. It was basically like my body was like, what the heck is this? And no. Well, I knew my desire was to be able to have a like an intimate experience with this partner, and I also knew that my body seemed to be like saying, "This is foreign to us. We're not sure what to do with this." And I knew there was a combination of like physiology, like just in general, the that whole area of my body just tightening up and not knowing what to do, as well as a mental and emotional piece, which was just kind of like fear and protection and other things going on just because it was a new experience for me. So
Mm-hmm.
the
So,
reason I thought to seek out help was just I knew that there was a mental component to it that I wanted to treat it on the mental level in addition to on the physical. This was a first experience, so nothing. That it was kind of an unsuccessful first attempt. And I knew that if I wanted to be able to have an experience like this, I
mm-hmm.
wanted to take ownership of it, take responsibility for what I could do on my end to change it.
Mm-hmm.
So um,
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't tried anything previous to this, but what I decided to try was I knew you, and I knew the work that you've done because you and I have worked on other issues. So I knew I wanted to try kind of the hypnosis and tapping approach to
Mm-hmm.
for the mental and any sort of like if I was holding any resistance at all, like old beliefs or anything blocking me in the kind of mental emotional story realm, I wanted to clear that. And I also went and sought out, pelvic floor physical therapy. I know that that's another technique on the physical plane that's really effective for things like this. I know of a lot of women who just like they struggle with painful intercourse and they can do things with their pelvic floor to
Mm-hmm.
strengthen and stretch and have those muscles relax. I think I probably would have just rejected the whole experience, and I think ultimately my body would have just said, "Yeah, past. I passed that opportunity up, and so this isn't really on my path, and let me just go back to kind of a narrower way of being." And I knew that for me, I wanted a more expansive experience of life, so I was motivated to see if there. I was curious. I didn't know. I
Mm-hmm.
knew it was one possibility that maybe it was already too late for me, but I wanted to at least see what would happen if I did this combination of treatments, therapies.
Okay.
Yeah. So my process with Meg was we did some tapping first, and what I experienced in the tapping was that I did have some stories running in my psyche around just like intercourse and around gender roles and like some even just like what I would call almost like collective anger. Like I noticed there was some rage in me about gender norms and gender roles, and why is this a painful experience for women and not for men? And like I just had a lot of stories running and like stories I had heard growing up in the church about like women and men and dominance and things like that. And so I noticed through the tapping that certain emotions and old stories and even things that I feel like maybe I inherited rather than experienced personally, maybe things I had seen on TV, like violence and other
Mm-hmm.
things, they
Mm-hmm.
all kind of arose in this tapping experience. And I was able to tap through what I think were limiting beliefs or beliefs that were in there that were causing my body to have some resistance to the experience. So yeah, and I'll say one other thing actually, I just thought of it. So we did tapping first and then we ended with a longer meditation, and a
With the
hypnosis meditation
hypnosis, yeah.
with the hypnosis meditation. Yeah. So I feel like the combination, like the tapping cleared some of the emotional layers that I was holding. And like I said, like this isn't even things I was clearing that necessarily happened to me or that I experienced. It felt like things I was holding in the collective consciousness of like, as a woman, this is junk that I'm carrying, and it was showing up physically for me. Okay, so that was that. And then the hypnosis was able to go in and send messages to my subconscious mind saying, this is a desire, this is a desired experience. My body is in alignment with this. Yeah, I am like, I'm here as a change maker in the world, and this is part of my mission, is to bring paradigm shifting to this particular experience as well. So I was like overcoming some of my resistance to the hypnosis. Yeah, I noticed in my time with you, I felt like you really had this ability to go right into the core of the issue. Like, I felt like you felt me, like you knew what my intention was, and you even helped me find words in the tapping and words in the hypnosis to like express what I felt like you really got it. You got what I was experiencing and what I was looking for, and you met me there, and then you were able to help me navigate, because I didn't have words for this. Like, this is a very new experience for me. So some of that, like having the language to express this so that I could also then work with the programming, I feel like you really helped me frame that. And then I also, as far as how I worked with it, the first session I did when we did it live, like when we were making the recording, was super powerful. I think already that went in and disarmed a lot of the resistance that I had, because I found that first session, what I experienced after that was more willingness on my body's part to receive, to relax. Just the recordings, like now that I have a copy of them, I was able to listen to them as I was falling asleep. I was able to, just listen to them throughout the day. If I thought of it like, oh, morning, I'm going to go walk on the beach, let me just listen to this. Let me listen to this hypnosis recording in my ears. And I think doing that just kept peeling back the layers of any resistance that my mind was sending to my body, saying like, block this. And it was like, no need to block this. Allow this. This is part of the path. This is part of this is part of my journey. This is part of what I'm looking for and what I'm desiring. I really felt my body unfolding, and it was really interesting because I can see the difference in at the beginning, like just how much resistance I was having, like fear and muscular resistance, and just like my body was basically in full protector mode. Like, I am protecting you from this, right? And then I noticed myself over time, and it was a combination of doing the work with you, doing the physical work with physical therapy, and then just having more time with this partner, gently, gradually easing into this, in an environment that felt safe, where I felt like I could trust the environment, I could trust the person. Those three things in combination allowed, and it was gradual. It's not like the next day it was like, all right, success. It was like, okay, got a little bit further the next time, a little bit further the next time, a little bit less painful the next time. Like, there was, it was a process. I had to lean into discomfort for sure. I had to lean into discomfort. But because I had cleared the mental, I didn't make a story about the discomfort. That's the key. Because the first night I made stories about the discomfort, like, this is messed up, this shouldn't be, like, I had all kinds of stories running as I was feeling the physical pain. And I was able to release the stories and just say, like, no, this is a process of me unfolding. I can lean into this discomfort. I can handle this, and I want to handle this. And it gradually got easier and went away. Yeah, I think that might vary by person. Like, I found that doing the first session for this issue cleared out a lot in a fast period of time. Now, other issues I've worked with you on, I've needed that kind of gradual titration of messaging over time to just like chip away at it. But this was an interesting experience because it felt like much more power at the beginning, clearing a lot of things. And then I felt like when I was listening to the recordings after that, it almost felt more like, oh yeah, I know that already. Or yeah, I'm already there. Like, it was more confirming, like, oh right, yeah, I don't have that issue anymore. I can only speak for the partner that I'm with. That's the only person who's weighing in on this right now. And yeah, I think he's also like, okay, this is working. We're getting there. I actually feel like proud and successful because I kind of at the beginning was like, I don't know if this is possible. Like I really was feeling like I don't think this is going to be possible. Like anatomically and physically, I don't think this is going to be possible. I'm 42. Like stuff doesn't stretch like it did with these 18-year-olds who do this early. Like I don't know if this is going to happen. And it's been really rewarding and exciting to see that no, actually my body, even my 42-year-old body, is malleable and it is flexible. And when I can release the grip of my mind and the stories of my mind, my body is actually quite adaptable. Definitely. That was the biggest surprise for me. I really thought like, oh, I'm going to have to do some physical work on this. I'm going to have to go see a physical therapist, and we're going to have to just start like gradually, slowly stretching those tissues in that area, relaxing those muscles. And I was really surprised. Like you popped into my mind. I'm like, oh, I've worked with Meg on health things. I wonder if I could work with Meg on this issue. And I was so surprised in the session to find out just how many layers of stories and generational and archetypal, resistance I was holding. Like I felt like I was holding the weight of all of female womanhood in my body at that time, and like my whole body was like and so releasing that through the hypnosis process, like I honestly don't think I could have gotten here on the physical plane if my mind was still holding on to the blocks and resistances that I cleared with you. I can't imagine there's any other women who, have exactly the experience I've had. I think it's pretty unique, but on many accounts. But I suspect there are women out there who, just in general, through aging, are struggling in some way with intercourse and would like it to be a more pleasant experience. And so, yeah, if that's speaking to anybody, this has been, who knows what's contributing to that pain. I found for me that it was a combination of physical and mental, emotional, and the extent to which I was holding and resisting
and none of it was your fault. It was just beliefs, false beliefs, real beliefs, fears and phobias, things like that get stuck in the subconscious mind that we learn how to protect ourselves. And so you've unlearned it. And you did a fantastic job. So high five. Way to go, Erika. Thank you so much. Talk to you.